15 years after the death of the Crown Empress of the Dunwall Empire, her daughter Emily has taken the throne as the Crown Princess, but she is stuck in a problem where a group of murderers are killing her critics and portraying her and her father and the royal protector Corvo as the killers. At her mother's 15th death anniversary, they are interrupted by the Duke of Sarkonos with his guards. He brings Delilah with him, Jasmine's elder sister. She claims herself to be the rightful claimant of the throne, and accuses Emily and Corvo for committing the murders of Emily's opponents. As she orders the palace guards to arrest them, Corvo fights back and tries to attack Delilah, but his attempt is failed as Delilah turns out to be immortal and she traps him in her magic and disarms him. After this, the player have the choice to either play as Corvo or Emily. As we pick Corvo, Emily is turned into marble stone and Corvo is arrested and thrown in the imperial chambers of the Dunwall Tower by Captain Ramsay, Delilah's supporter in the coup. As he makes his way out of the chambers and the Dunwall Tower, he comes across Captain Mayhew injured in the lobby. She informs Corvo that a captain is waiting for him at the docks and hands over his special sword to him before dying. Corvo assassinates Captain Ramsay before escaping the tower and retrieves back his ring, which is a key to Emily's chambers. After that, he heads towards the docks and gets on the mentioned captain's ship. There he meets Megan Foster, a friend of Anton Sokolov who is an old ally of Corvo. She offers to assist Corvo in her quest against Delilah and Corvo asks her to take him to the city of Karnaca to investigate the source of the crown murders. As he falls asleep on the ship, he experiences a dream where he meets the Outsider. The Outsider offers his mark to him again so he can take revenge from Delilah and rescue Emily. As Corvo accepts the mark, he is given supernatural abilities, which he uses to make his way ahead in the dream and comes across a magically crafted heart with Jasmine's spirit inside which guides Corvo in his journey. As Corvo awakens on the ship, Megan reveals that Anton has been taken hostage by the real crown killer, and guides Corvo to the Duke's alchemist Hypatia, as she believes that the crown killer is under treatment there and he can reveal the whereabouts of Anton. After this, Megan drops Corvo off at the shores of Karnaca and wishes him good luck for his mission. Being a wanted man, Corvo makes his way through the city with force and uses a tram to reach the Alchemist Institute. At the Institute, he confronts Dr. Hypatia about Anton and Crown Killer's location, but Corvo is disappointed to know that Hypatia is not in her senses and tells Corvo Anton is no longer in the Institute but instead taken to the home of Karen Jandash, the Duke's grand inventor. Corvo manages to take one of her patients with him and interrogates him about the situation. He reveals himself to be Hypatia's assistant and tells Corvo that Hypatia is the crown killer. She lost her mind after taking the serum she developed to help the miners, and became a monster. The assistant guides Corvo to his safe where the anti-serum is present. While they are talking, Hypatia attacks them and kills her assistant, forcing Corvo to kill her in retaliation. With nothing more to do in Alchemist Institute, Corvo reaches the shore where Megan picks him up. Corvo makes his way back to Karnaca and reaches Karen Jandash's mansion in search of Anton. After getting past Jandash's puzzles, Corvo interacts with him through a door. Jandash reveals that Anton is being held in his assessment chamber and challenges Corvo to find him if he can. Corvo then fights his way down to the assessment chamber, where he finds Anton resting on a bed. Corvo rescues him and brings him back to the carriage outside of the mansion to assure Anton's safety. After that he goes back inside to eliminate Jandash in his lab. Once Jandash is taken care of, Corvo heads back to Megan with Anton and they return to the ship. Later Corvo returns to the Void in his dream, where he meets Delilah. She reveals her story to Corvo, claiming to be the illegitimate daughter of a kitchen maid and the Emperor. She grew up alongside Emily but was never treated as a princess. One day while Emily and she were playing, they broke an expensive artifact, and Emily blamed Delilah for it, causing her mother to lose her job in the palace and both of them being exiled out of the palace, which ultimately led to the death of her mother in the streets of Dunwall. So Delilah decided to take revenge from Emily after Jasmine's death and began her conspiracies. 3 days go by, Corvo wakes up on the ship and heads towards Anton to ask him for help against Delilah. Anton informs Corvo about Brianna Ashworth, the curator of Royal Conservatory who used to visit Jandash often regarding the crown murders, and suggests that Corvo pays her a visit as she is an important ally to Delilah. After this Megan takes Corvo to Syria Gardens in Karnaca so he can reach the conservatory where Ashworth is. After eliminating Ashworth, Corvo heads back to Megan who takes him back to the ship. In his mind, Corvo wonders how Delilah became immortal and got the Outsider's mark. After waking up in the ship, Corvo makes his way to Anton. He reveals that Delilah attained immortality after the disappearance of Stintosh, a mind baron and ally of Delilah. In order to learn more about her powers, Corvo needs to reach Stintosh's house and search for any clues. To get there, Corvo must bypass a special lock created to fortify the mansion by Jindosh. Anton suggests he allies with either a gang leader by the name of Paolo or Vice Overseer Byrne, which are both rivals to each other, and in order to gain their alliance, Corvo must kill the other one. After this, Anton takes him to the Dust District where he meets Megan. She guides him about her plan to ally with either one of them, and as Corvo decides to kill Paolo, he gets the trust and protection of Vice Overseer Byrne. In return, Byrne hands over the passcode to Jindosh's lock to enter the Stintosh mansion. Using the information from Byrne, Corvo enters the mansion. Inside he finds a mindless Stintosh sitting alone. The outsider appears and reveals that the void is leaking inside the mansion through a hole created by Delilah to trap Stintosh inside. He hands over a mask through which Corvo can look in the past, and then the outsider disappears. Using the mask, Corvo learns that Delilah was brought back from the void through a ritual by her allies. And she stored her spirit in a structure made of bones so she cannot be killed. After learning this, as Corvo is making his way out, he falls down on an island in the void. There he meets the outsider once again, who tells him that this is the island where he was killed and he became a god. Delilah reached the same island in the void and became an immortal with the island's power. The outsider tells Corvo that in order to kill Delilah, he must find her spirit and put it back in her. After this, Corvo makes his way back to Anton. Once he has learned Delilah's secret to immortality, Megan sails the ship towards the Duke of Sarkanos, Luca Abiel's mansion. An important ally of Delilah who could guide Corvo closer to her. Besides, Corvo must avenge the damage Luca has done to him and his daughter. As the ship gets closer to the Grand Palace, Megan takes Corvo to the palace's shore in a boat, and Corvo fights his way to Luca's office, where he kills him and retrieves the keys to his vault. Inside the vault, he discovers the bone structure that is keeping Delilah's spirit safe. Jessica's soul appears and asks Corvo to trap Delilah's spirit in her heart and free her soul from this cursed world. Corvo captures Delilah's soul, which darkens the heart, and he returns to Megan. The duo returns to the ship, where Corvo talks to Anton and Megan for the last time before setting off to Dunwall Tower alone, where Delilah is staying. Corvo walks through the bodies of his dead soldiers to enter Dunwall. There he meets a dying overseer who informs Corvo that Delilah has killed the High Overseer and taken over Dunwall with her hounds and automated soldiers. Corvo assures him of revenge as the overseer dies in his hands. After this, Corvo enters the Dunwall Tower and fights through Delilah's witches and hounds to reach the throne room. Inside he discovers Delilah in a room corrupted with Delilah's black magic. Soon he is attacked by her and her hounds. After an intense fight, he manages to put her spirit back into her body. Delilah opens a portal to the void in a painting and enters it. As Corvo follows her, he steps in a corrupter version of the real world which Delilah was planning to merge with the real world. There he is attacked by many of Delilah's replicas. After getting rid of her replicas, Corvo manages to kill Delilah and returns to the real world where Emily awaits in her stone form. As Corvo interacts with Emily's stone body, she turns back into her human form. After the death of Delilah, many endings can be attained in the game depending on the chaos level the player practiced through the game. In this particular ending, Overseer Byrne becomes the new Lord of Sarkanos and stays an ally to Corvo and Emily. Dunwall's power is restored to Emily and her father. Meanwhile, Anton gives life to a great industrial age before disappearing into the north, and Megan reveals herself to be Billy Lurk, the second in hand of Corvo's rival and Jessica's assassin Daoud, and sets out in search of Daoud. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe for more epic videos. We will see you at the next one.